Jaya Ram Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Mr. Papa Mahamishnu Prabhu Jaya Also Sari Shis Mr. Pankaj Abhay Srinaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki It's on time to 50 Srila Prabhupada Ki Jaya Mr. Papa Mahamishnu Prabhu Jaya So Sari Shis Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prabhupada Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaurabhaktavinda Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kun Radhakun Giri Govardhana Ki Mathura Vrindavan Dhama Ki Navadvip Mayapur Dhama Ki Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki ISKCON Sri Radha Govinda Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sri Konitai Mandir Shemahan Street 304 Brooklyn and New York, America, Earth Planet, Dham Ki, Srimad Tulsi Devi Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Sankirtan Yagya Ki, Chancellor Book Distribution Ki, Chancellor Prasadam Distribution Ki, Chancellor Car Protection Ki, Samveta Bhaktavinda Ki, Gopamanande, Gopamanande, Glory Assembly Devotees, all glory Assembly Devotees, glory Assembly Devotees. Glory to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. I have something to put under my knee, one of those big bead bags. So welcome everybody. You may not be here in the Sherman Street, but you're out there somewhere in cyberspace, maybe in your own homes, and you're listening to the Srimad Bhāgavatam class. Sri Mahavishnu Swami from UK. I'm a member of Vishnu Jan's Harinam Ruchi Party. We're just coming through New York. We're off to Philadelphia Rath Yatra tomorrow. Come to Philly tomorrow. Get filled up with Philly Krishna consciousness. So, yeah. Please come to Philadelphia Rath Yatra tomorrow. Just remember that this New York City was the place. Actually, Prabhupada's godbrothers were sent by Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj to UK, to London, Britain, I think in 1932. And thank you very much. They didn't do too well, actually. They were focused at the aristocracy, you know. There was one, Lord Jetland. It's a nice story Prabhupada likes to tell many times. Lord Jetland. Actually, Lord Jetland previously was a governor of Bengal. And Prabhupada was in a class when he came to their school. I don't know which, Scottish Church College or something. Some school or other in Calcutta. So they thought he would be favorable. So the devotees were sent by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bon Maharaj and others. They got an appointment to see Lord Jetland. And Lord Jetland knew a bit about, of course he knew a bit about Indian culture. So he said, "Can you make me a Brahmin? Can you make me a Brahmin?" So, so they said, "Yes, of course. That's what we're here for. You know." So all we have to do is no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication. Simple. And what did he say? Impossible. Impossible. And because impossible is a word in the Fool's Dictionary, Prabhupada also said, when they tried to print all 17 volumes of Chaitanya Charitamrita in 2 months. They said, Prabhupada, it's impossible. It's not possible. So anyway, so eventually Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati called them back to UK. They wanting money, they wanted support. But Prabhupada did differently. He was a lone warrior, a lone spy also. And he had a plan to satisfy his Guru Maharaj, which said, if ever you get money, print books. If ever you get money, print books. That was in Radhakund. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was very disturbed. But his disciples were fighting about who shall have the beautiful room in the marble Bagbazar temple which will be donated. So Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj said, Agos Valve, there will be fire in the Gaudiya Math. And there was. They squabbled about the property. They wanted to make an acharya. Who would be the next acharya? But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, we don't want an acharya. We manage collectively. There's no need for any acharya. So this was the beginning of ISKCON, seed of ISKCON. Of course, Prabhupada tried it. And when he came to New York, after Butler and Uptown Riverside, New York, then he found that the young people were interested, not the aristocrats, not the so-called academicians, but the young people who were, how do you say, very frustrated with American culture. They were being sent to the Vietnam War by Nixon. Was it Nixon? They were sent to become cannon fodder to fight in Vietnam, killing millions of people with napalm, jelly which sticks to your skin and burns. They didn't want anything to do with that, so they dropped out, gave up college, gave up their parents, and they just hung around Lower East Side. That's where Prabhupada came. Yeah. And he gave them mercy. He gave them mercy. Form of prasadam, the holy name. That's the way the movement started. The rejects, they rejected mainstream society, and they were looking for something new. Not new, but who am I? Why am I in this mess? Why I was born? Why I have to die? What is this world? Is there God or isn't there? They're just confused generation. Frustrated, confused generation. And that's Krishna sent Prabhupada there. And started to preach. So New York is itself a holy place. Prabhupada decided, why should I go to England? My godbrothers failed in England. New York is and America is the most powerful nation, most influential nation. Everyone's following American dream now. American dream. Of course, its dream is just phantasmagoria, but the whole world was following. So Prabhupada thought, let me just go there instead of England. I upgrade. I'll go to America. So everyone knows the story. It's in Leelamrita by Satsrup Das Goswami, and many other ISKCON gurus have written versions of this story. So Prabhupada brought with him the Srimad Bhāgavatam, the ancient scripture, Nigama Kalpataro Galitam Phalam, Sukhamukad Amrita Drava Samyatam, Pivata Bhāgavatam Rasamalayam, Maho Aho Rasika Bhuva Bhavaka. It's the ripened fruit of all the Vedic knowledge. Vedic means the words of God. We have Bible, we have Quran, we have Torah, many others also. The words of God. But the Srimad Bhāgavatam is the ripened fruit of all Vedic knowledge. Veda means knowledge, spiritual knowledge. What we can't reach with our telescopes and microscopes because our senses are imperfect. You know, you make one reading down the microscope and then next day you look, it'll be different. And there's so many defects we have with our senses. So this is called empirical knowledge. So Prabhupada come to make a revolution. Give up this empirical knowledge. Jnane prayasa mudapasim namantam eva jivanti sammakoritam bhavadeyavata. Just hear from the Guru Parampara, the original knowledge coming down from the creation. Yeah. So this is in Srimad Bhāgavatam. And today we're going to hear from a chapter called the genealogical table. Genealogical, how do you say? What does it say? Genealogical table of the daughters of Manu. In other words, how the universe was populated. It wasn't populated by a big bang. It's what they're teaching in college and university today. There was a big bang! There's so many big bangs in Gaza and now in Lebanon, and families are blown to pieces. Just death with a big bang. So, is it likely that the universe would create life by a big bang? Do you think that life has come by chance? And scientists have been trying to make life. Frankenstein was a very popular film where some guy was trying to make life, you know, by putting electric shock, and then he came to life. But they've never done it. It was just on the movie. Why they can't do it? If someone's dying of cancer, okay, just give him injection. Give him life injection. Bring him back to life. No more problems. They're scrambling. The scientists are scrambling to create life, but they cannot do it. Why not? Because they're not following the proper science, the Vedic knowledge. You can't, actually, anyway, that's another story. We're going to read this verse from, what's the verse, please?
23.
Fourth canto.
Chapter 1.
Fourth canto. Fourth canto. Fourth canto. There are 12 cantos in Srimad Bhāgavatam, starting from the lotus feet of the Lord, up his thighs, up to the waist, and the 10th canto is the smiling face of the Lord. So this is very good. We're only on the fourth, chapter 1. And which verse, please?
23.
23. But I went ahead. Did you account for that? Oh. Come on, nobody was interested in what I did yesterday? I read more verses because we was telling a story. The sage was standing on one leg. Who is the sage? Anyone remember what his name was? Too much prasadam, you can't think anymore. The sage was standing on one leg, Atri Muni. But as soon as can anyone understand what I'm saying? So I have a British accent. That's a problem, no? Hands up those who can follow my English, please. Okay. Okay, we'll go from 23. I'll catch up with where I was yesterday. And then we'll read the Sanskrit. The sage, Atri Muni, was standing on one leg. But as soon as he saw the three deities had appeared before him, he was so pleased to see them all together that despite great difficulty, he approached them on one leg. Wow. Thereafter he began to offer prayers to the three deities who were seated on different carriers, a bull, a swan, and Garuda, and who held in their hands a drum, crucigrass, and a discus. The sage offered them his respects by falling down like a stick. I remember I talked about Dandavats. Everyone says, Dandavats Prabhu. Yeah, I'm seeing him for 10 years. Dandavats Prabhu. Dandavats means falling down like a stick, risking breaking a nose. Okay, here we go. Atri Muni was greatly pleased to see that the three devas were gracious towards him. His eyes were dazzled by the effulgence of their bodies, and therefore he closed his eyes for the time being. Okay, I don't think we did this verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 25. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kripa Valokena Hasad Vadaneno Palambutan Tad Ruchisha Pratihate Nimilya what's that? Munir Akshini Kripavalokena Hasad Vadamena Palambutan Tadrochisa Pratihate Nimilya Muni Akshini Kripavalokena Hasad Vadaneno Palambitam Tadrochisa Pratihate Nimilya Muni Akshini Kripavalokena Hasad Vadaneno Palambitam Tadrochisa Pratihate Nimilya Muni Akshini Kripavalokena Hasad Vadaneno Palambitam Tadrochisa Pratihate Nimilya Muni Akshini Kripavalokena Hasad Vadaneno Palambitam Tadrochisa Pratihate Nimilya Muni Akshini. Ladies, would you like to try, please? Okay. Kripa Avalokena, glancing with mercy. Hasat, smiling. Vadanena, with faces. Upalambitan, appearing very much satisfied. Tat, there. Rochisa, by the glaring effulgence. Pratihate, being dazzled. Nimilya, closing. Munihi, the sage. Akshini, his eyes. Translation and purport by His ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Abhay Srinaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Atri Muni was greatly pleased to see that the three devas were gracious towards him. His eyes were dazzled by the effulgence of their bodies, and therefore he closed his eyes for the time being. Please repeat. Atri Muni was greatly pleased to see that the three devas were gracious towards him. His eyes were dazzled by the effulgence of their bodies, and therefore he closed his eyes for the time being. Purport. Since the deities were smiling, he could understand that they were pleased with him. Their glaring bodily effulgence was intolerable to his eyes, so he closed them for the time being. If you don't mind, I'm going to go on for this narration. Nice story. Text 26 to 27. Chetastad pravanam yunjam astavit sambatanjali shlakshnaya shuktaya vacha savaloka kariyasha achi uvacha asvodbhava stiti layeshu vibhajyanamare mayagune anuyugam. I have to put the other way. Can't see the end of the line. Shlakshnaya shuktaya vacha savaloka gariyasham atri uvacha Zisvod bhavasti tilayeshu Vishvod bhavasti tilayeshu Vibhajamane Maya gune amyogam vigrihita deha Te Brahma Vishnu Girisha Pranato Smayahambas Tebhya ka eva bhavatam maeho pahuta. But since his heart was already attracted by the deities, somehow or other he gathered his senses, and with folded hands and sweet words he began to offer prayers to the predominating deities of the universe. The great sage Atri said, O Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, you have divided yourself into three bodies by accepting the three modes of material nature, as you do in every millennium for the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all of you, and beg to inquire whom of you three I have called by my prayer. Purport. Atri Rishi called for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Jagad Ishvara, the Lord of the universe. Lord Jagannath Ki! One more time. Lord Jagannath Ki! Okay. The Lord must exist before the creation, otherwise how could he be its Lord? If someone constructs a big building, this indicates that he must have existed before the building was constructed. Therefore, the Supreme Lord, the Creator of the universe, must be transcendental to the material modes of nature. But it is known that Vishnu takes charge of the mode of goodness. Brahma takes charge of the mode of passion, and Lord Shiva takes charge of the mode of ignorance. Yeah, you can participate. Therefore, Atri Muni said, That Jagat Ishvara, the Lord of the universe, must be one of you. But since 3 of you have appeared, I cannot recognize whom I have called. You are also kind. Please let me know who is actually Jagat Ishvara, the Lord of the universe. In fact, Atri Rishi was doubtful about the constitutional position of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. But he was quite certain that the Lord of the universe cannot be one of the creatures created by Maya. His very inquiry about whom he had called indicates that he was in doubt about the constitutional position of the Lord. Therefore he prayed to all 3. Kindly let me know who is the transcendental Lord of the universe. He was certain, of course, that not all of them could be the Lord, but the Lord of the universe was one of the 3. Eko maya bhagavan vivida pradhanais chiti krita prajanenaya katam nuvujam adraganas tanubitam manaso pidurad bhuta prasidati mahan iha vismayo me. I called for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, desiring a son like him, and I thought of him only. But although he is far beyond the mental speculation of man, all 3 of you have come here. Kindly let me know how you have come, for I am greatly bewildered about this. Purport. Atri Muni was confidentially aware that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Lord of the universe. So he prayed for the one Supreme Lord. He was surprised, therefore, that 3 of them had appeared. Maitreya Uvacha Ititasya Vachas Shrutva Trayaste Vibhudarshabhaha Prajahu Shluksnaya Vacha Prahasyatam Vishim Prabhu. The great sage Maitreya continued. Upon hearing Atri speak in that way, the 3 great deities smiled, and they replied in the following sweet words. Deva uchuhu yatakritaste sankalpo bhavyam Tenaiva nanyuta sad sankalpasite brahman yadvai jayati devayam. The 3 deities told Atri Muni, Dear Brahmana, you are perfect in your determination, and therefore as you have decided, so it will happen. It will not happen otherwise. We are all the same person upon whom you were meditating, and therefore we have all come to you. Purport. Atri Muni unspecifically thought of the personality of Godhead, the Lord of the universe, although he had no clear idea of the Lord of the universe, nor of his specific form. Mahavishnu, from whose breathing millions of universes emanate and into whom they are again withdrawn, may be accepted as the Lord of the universe. Garbhodakshai Vishnu, from whose abdomen sprouted the lotus flower which is the birthplace of Brahma, may also be considered the Lord of the universe. Similarly, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who is the supersoul of all living entities, may also be considered the Lord of the universe. Then, under the order of Kshirodakshai Vishnu, the Vishnu form within the universe, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva may also be accepted as the lords of the universe. Vishnu is the Lord of the universe because he is its maintainer. Similarly, Brahma creates the different planetary systems and the population, so he also may be considered the Lord of the universe. Or Lord Shiva, who ultimately the destroyer of the universe, also may be considered its Lord. Therefore, since Atri Muni did not specifically mention whom he wanted, all three, Brahma, Vishnu and Lord Shiva, came before him. You following? You got it? They said, since you are thinking of having a son exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord of the universe, your determination will be fulfilled. In other words, one's determination is fulfilled according to the strength of one's devotion. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.25, Yanti deva vrta devan pitrin yanti prita vrta. If one is attached to a particular demigod, one is promoted to the abode of that demigod. If one is attached to the pitas or forefathers, one is promoted to their planet. And similarly, if one is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, one is promoted to the abode of Lord Krishna. Atri Muni had no clear conception of the Lord of the universe. Therefore, the three presiding deities were actually the lords of the universe in the three departments of the modes of nature, all came before him. Now, according to the strength of his determination for his son, his desire would be fulfilled by the grace of the Lord. Wow. I can't wait to hear what the story is. I'm just going to go on again. Atasmad anishabhutaste atmajaloka vishrutaha bhavitaranga bhadram te vishapshanti te vyasa. You will have sons who will represent a partial manifestation of our potency. And because we desire all good fortune for you, those sons will glorify your reputation throughout the world. Evam kamavaram dattva pratijagmu sureshvara sabhajitas taya samyag dampatyo mishatas tata. Thus, while the couple looked on, the three deities, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, disappeared from that place after bestowing upon Atri Muni their benediction. Samo Bud Brahmano Shena Tato Vishnas to Yogavat Devasha Shankarashamsu Nibodang Girisha Praja. Thereafter, from the partial representation of Brahma, the moon god was born of them. From the partial representation of Vishnu, the great mystic Dattatreya was born. And from the partial representation of Shankara, Lord Shiva, Durvasa Muni was born. Now you may hear from me of the many sons of Angira. Srila Prabhupada ki, Om Ganati Manandasya, Gananjana Salakaya, Chakshur Militam Dena, Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha, Shri Chaitanya Manubhistam, Savitam Yena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Kadamayam, Dadati Sva Padantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Makam karoti vachalam, pangam langaite girim, yat kripatalam bande, gigurundina taranam. So what seems to be more reasonable? This happened, like we just heard, although there was a big explosion. a big bang. Or something came from nothing. How about that? Anyone like that idea? Something, because, okay, there was a big bang. If we accept that, well, where does the big bang come from? From nowhere, from nothing. So everyone is being brainwashed by the modern scientists to believe something ridiculous. At least we're hearing from the Srimad Bhāgavatam that there are persons behind this universe. In fact, there's a supreme person. There's a verse in the Bhāgavatam, it's called the emperor of all verses in the Bhāgavatam. Ate chamsa alopam sham Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vakalo Lokam Mridayante Yuge Yuge. Because in that chapter of the Bhāgavatam, I think it's in the first canto or second canto, so many incarnations of the Lord were listed. But then, to summarize everything, then this verse says, but all these different incarnations, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and so many others, Buddha, Rama, Parshuram, Nrsimha, so many incarnations, they're all parts of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And this is reasonable. You know, if you're a part, there must be a whole. A part means amsi and angsa. So we're also parts of God. We're conscious parts, according to Lord Chaitanya's teachings to Sanatana Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 20, from like 108 onwards. There's so many. A basic philosophy is there. It comes from Lord Chaitanya. Achincha Veda Veda Tattva. This is the basic philosophy of the Hare Krishna movement. It's very nice. It's practical. From this philosophy, we can begin to understand what we are. You know, okay, we can figure out we're not this body. We say my intelligence, my mind, my senses, you know, my body, my legs, my arms, my eyes, everything. 25 different things. The subject of Sankhya Yoga. But the 25th is the soul, me. I'm looking out at this material world and seeing so many things going on. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, blah, blah, blah. A whole list of them. But who am I? That's why the scientists are missing the whole point. You know, it's not logical, they're not reasonable. It's a con. It's a trick, the scientists. Why? It's like a dog trying to catch its own tail. A little puppy dog. Have you ever seen a little puppy dog trying to catch its own tail? Or a kitten? You see, it's not possible. Because as soon as you try and catch the tail, then the tail moves. Because you're looking down the microscope, you're looking down the telescope, but who are you? You still don't know who you are. And if you want to know who you are, you have to hear from somebody. Just like a boy in the street, some other boy in the street, he doesn't know who his father is. So he goes to his mother, Mommy, Mommy, who is my father? Mommy, who is my father? And if his mother knows, she says, well, look, he went to the Vietnam War, he's such and such place, Show him a picture. He has to hear what is beyond his sense perception. Therefore, this Vedic knowledge called Shruti is hearing. You can't find out by empirical means, inductive methods. Because inductive methods, my dear Mr. Putin, my dear Mr. Biden, my dear Kamala Harris, my dear Mr. Trump, and Mr. Macron, why are you trusting these scientists? Why are you trusting them? Because they have imperfect senses. They're likely to make mistakes. They're likely to cheat. And they're likely to be illusioned. And what else? Likely to make mistakes. Likely to cheat. Perfect senses. It's so obvious. The history of the world. First they believed that the Earth was the center, then they believed that the heliocentric, the sun was the center, and so on. Then now with Einstein, they don't believe any center. But even Einstein had the gumption to believe in God, that's what I hear. But he could see that I'm an entity, I'm conscious. And it's a conscious thing which makes things grow. Why are they sending these people? I heard recently that there's a woman and a man stuck in space. Have you heard about that? They sent them up in space, into a space capsule. And there's a man and woman up there. I wonder what they're doing. What are they doing? I don't know. And they can't get them down. It's a scandal. They spend millions of dollars to send them up there, and they can't get them down yet. So why are we wasting our money and time in this childish way? Why don't we find a way to overcome nature completely? Now the latest scam, all over the world by the United Nations and the Russians, is climate change. What is this climate change? You're part of nature. You can't avoid it. So how can you change it? You have to breathe, you have to smell, you have to see, you have to eat. So you're completely dependent on material nature every moment. So it's futile to try and change it. You're trapped. Bhagavad Gita says, Daivihi esha gunamaya mama maya durachaya. This material nature is impossible to overcome. Very difficult to overcome. Because we're part of it. The body is part of it. You can try and make adjustments. But what about birth? What about old age? What about disease and death? Can you change that? Can you change the miseries of the mind and body, the miseries of nature, and the miseries of other people? They'll always be there. So someone who's grown up, and not just a child, tries to escape altogether from these modes of material nature. Goodness, passion, and ignorance. These three deities are controlling nature. There's persons behind it. There's people behind it. Just like when I was a child. Well, not just a child, I was adolescent. I used to have many fish tanks. And I used to keep snakes and reptiles and all kinds of creatures in tanks. And I would look through the glass, and what would I see? That they're living completely unconscious of me. Maybe I would tap on the glass, and the fish would be surprised. And when I was feeding them, ants' eggs and flies. So why not that there's some creatures beyond our perception, like these deities, Vishnu, Shiva and Brahma. Is it unreasonable? It's very reasonable that there are demigods, that there are devas controlling the weather. So why you guys don't get it together and educate your scientists, Mr. Putin, Mr. Biden, from the Srimad Bhāgavatam, that there are controllers of this universe beyond Mr. President and Mr. There's beings higher than us. And they're in control. So why we don't do something to please them, so that this nature can become favorable to us. We don't want Helena. Now the latest hurricane hitting the Big Bend in Florida is Helena. Okay, Helena. How are you today, Helena? How are you today, Helena? Our meteorological office, of which we're so proud, what can it do about Helena? It can just tell people to get out the way. Get out the way, quick. Before it blasts the whole house. 250 miles an hour wind. Blast through the windows. Krishna. So why you leaders of society? I think Mr. Trump has a better idea. He doesn't take intoxication. He doesn't take alcohol. But I think that Kamala Harris and Putin, you all take vodka and whiskey and all these things. How can you have a clear brain? How can you have a clear brain if you're taking this alcohol? It's killing you. So why not understand the Srimad Bhāgavatam, which the Hare Krishna movement is presenting before you? That this is a dead end, this so-called science. It's a waste of money. The real problem is birth, death, old age and disease. Birth, death, old age and disease. Actually, I wrote a song about that. This will be my New York premiere. You want to hear about it? You want to hear my new song? No, actually it's an old song. It's good to have a bit of entertainment. So Hansa Rupa may throw me out, but what to do? But the words of this song are written by Prabhupada. So it's completely appropriate. It's a nice song, Prabhupada's words. And I've sung it before. It won't go to the top of the hit parade. And maybe Taylor Swift will be interested. She'd be a nice girl. So if you want to pay for the words, you can give me. It's a beautiful song, Taylor Swift, if you're listening. So I'll try and sing it for you. It's called Everlasting. How am I going to be everlasting? This should be the aim of human life. Why put up with this temporary existence? It's a prison house. Why not do something to become immortal? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. Get ready. What should we have? Try this one. Remember, this is Prabhupada's words, taken directly from conversations. Everlasting, 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 everlasting. They do not not think of it. They do not think of it. How am I going to be everlasting? My birth and death is disease. My birth and death is disease. You have to cure this disease. You have to cure this disease. Everlasting, 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 everlasting. They do not think of it. The scientists, they do not think of it. How am I going to be everlasting? Prabhupada's words. Everlasting, everlasting. However they may be proud. However they may be proud of their advancement of knowledge, of their advancement of knowledge. It is childish civilization. It is childish civilization, because they have no future, because they have no future. Everlasting, 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 everlasting. They do not think of it. How am I going to be everlasting? My birth and death is disease. My birth and death is disease. You have to cure this disease. You have to cure this disease. However they may be proud of their spaceships, of their mobile phones, of their motor cars. However they may be proud of their advancement of knowledge. It is childish. It is childish civilization, because they have no future. Everlasting, everlasting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So you leaders of society, Mr. Putin, Biden, and Mr. Trump, and so many other leaders all over, please consider this Srimad Bhāgavatam knowledge as the basis of your civilization. We're here, ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, is here to guide you with this knowledge. Now you're having an election in America, and but what's the difference, if you have no spiritual knowledge? Of course you have Christianity, you have Muslim and everything, but they don't know the science of God. This is a problem. The Bible is wonderful, the Quran is wonderful, all scriptures are wonderful, but we need a science in detail, analytical explanation, so that we can guide our nations, so that people can be happy in this life and the next. So please, you leaders of society, listen to ISKCON, come to Schermerhorn Street, you'll be welcome. We have a VIP room, and come and try and understand the science of God, so that you can lead your people nicely, they'll be happy. You won't have to fight anymore over scraps of land, Ukraine and Russia and America. This is babyish. This is like the children's playground. Why are we fighting like this? The Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, gives the peace formula. It's based on spiritual knowledge. Knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His expansions, and the Devas who are controlling this nature. You're worried about nature, Helene, a hurricane coming and smashing the Big Bend in Florida. Why don't you contact the Devas? Hare Krishna knows how to do it. We know how to do it. We have the formula, which was given at the time of the creation of the universe. Very simple. Chant this mantra. It is said, when Narad Muni asked his father Brahma, he said, I'm very worried, Give me some mantra for the people in this age of quarrel. They're fighting scraps of land like stupid fools, because they have no spiritual knowledge. They think they're this body. I am Russian, I am American, I am French, I am British. This is childish. Are we animals? Are we kids? Or are we human beings? We've got to wake up. And this Brahma said, yes, there is one mantra. Iti Shodaka Samnam Nam. Hey, listen, hold on. Iti Shodaka Samnam Nam. Kali Kalma Sanasana. Nata Parata Rupaya. Sabha Vede Sudrishyate. These 16 words, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, can destroy all the bad qualities of this age. So please, leaders of society, Mr. Trump, I think you already know Hare Krishna. You helped us build the Jagat Ishvara cart, which ran down 5th Avenue in 1976 with Srila Prabhupada. You helped us. And you're not drinking. I know you don't take alcohol. And you're against abortion. In other words, you're pro-life. You believe in the soul. Although you may have problems, and no one's perfect. You're a warrior, you're a fighter. So, you should at least start chanting this Hare Krishna. If you want to win this election, please start chanting Hare Krishna. Please repeat after me. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sorry, we've overtaken the time. There may be no prasadam left. We better run for it. Mahaprasadam K. Any questions, please? It's minus 6 minutes to prasadam. Minus 6 minutes.
More questions?
One question and then we can run. A quick question. Quick. Any question? In Africa they say, what is this?
What is this?
It's aerial. You get the message from Krishna. Any one question, please? No questions. Okay. Please, one question, please. I love the questions. Questions are good. Prabhupada asked for questions. No prasadam till one question. Yeah? Please. Am I right or wrong? Yeah? You want the mic?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. My question is, why do the scientists, why don't they want to give up their rascal?
Why the?
They don't want to give their rascal.
Why they don't want to give up their rascal down?
Because they're getting paid. They're salarymen. They're not Brahmana. A Brahmana doesn't get paid.
Oh, they're getting paid.
The Brahmana, just like Hare Krishna, we get donations, we don't get salary.
Some devotees are rosary.
We go and beg on the street. We beg, we're beggars. And that's the position of Brahmins. But the scientists are salary men. In other words, they're yes men. Whatever the politicians tell them, they have to do. Okay, shoot a moonshot. Fool all the people. Do this, do that. And they'll invent anything, atom bomb, whatever. They're salary men. They have a nice house. My brother was the chief scientist of Canada. Chief scientist of Canada, my brother. My father was one of the chief scientists in the UK. Yeah. I know. They just want the money. That's all. But there's some scientists like Isaac Newton. Prabhupada glorified him. He said, all my knowledge is just like gathering one pebble from the beach. There's millions of pebbles on it. All my knowledge is like one pebble. Einstein also, he's a real scientist, but he wasn't a paid guy. He was more of a philosopher. But most of the scientists are just in a job. Cancer research, this research, that research, space research. So a waste of money. Just to fool the people. That they can conquer space, that we're in charge of this universe. Just to make people atheists. They're teaching that life has come from matter, by chance. Darwin's theory, it's all a big con. So the leaders of society like Putin and Trump and Biden, please take it seriously, this Hare Krishna movement. Why do you think we're going on the street chanting Hare Krishna? To awaken people's spiritual knowledge, awareness that they are not this body, they're spirit souls. It's a science. We're trying to help America. We're trying to help Russia. We're trying to help UK by giving this knowledge to the people. We can be peaceful then. It's a formula. Learn the science. Send some of you NASA guys round, and we'll train them in the science of God, science of spiritual knowledge. Then we know how to control nature, but you must go around it the right way. That's in Bhagavad Gita. Sahayagya prajashvistva puruvacha prajapati anena prasavisyadvam eshaво vistva kamaduk. At the time of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth all generations of men and demigods, and blessed them by saying, be thou happy by this sacrifice. There's something you have to do to please all these higher entities, because it will bestow upon you all the things you want, desirable things. You can have prosperity, you can have nice weather, you can have everything, but you have to do some sacrifice to please God. So this chanting Hare Krishna will please God. So please institute it in your nations, in Russia and Ukraine. Zelensky, what do you know about the science of God? Creating so much fuss. And Mr. Netanyahu in Israel. Why don't you try and understand the science of God? Why be stuck in a box? I am Jew, I am Russian, I am, Hindu. This is a cage, a mental cage. Do we say the sun is American sun? Do we say the sun is Jewish sun? Do we say the sun is Russian sun? No. So there's a science of God. We don't say French mathematics, we don't say German mathematics, we don't say American mathematics is a science. So all you super excellent leaders, His Excellency, in Africa also, please learn the science of God and make your nations happy. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay, Prasade Govinde, Nama Vamani Vaishave, Kalpa Panyapacham Rajam, Vishwasana Vijayate.